Hello everybody, this is Simon with Let's Play Sonic Unleashed. The last simultaneously unlocked main stage is waiting for us. It is the daytime level of Skyscraper Scamper to finish off Empire City, and this level is really fun. For once, a level I can be genuinely 100% positive about, and it starts with every time you die, which happens a lot, you get greeted by this beautiful dirty trumpet riff, and the music becomes something completely different afterwards, but it's fine because it starts super jazzy, super nice, super actiony, as you fall to your death because you're not adhering to traffic rules. Like the first violation is obviously crashing through this thing here, but then you didn't follow the traffic cones, and that is a grave violation. But if you do, then you get this loop-de-loop up here into a grind rail. Think fast because you have to do the homing attack here, go through there, and then decide left, grind rail, right, jumpers, nope, nothing, because if you go in the middle there are no safety rails. We are firmly in the end game, the level will kill you. It does give you an extra life at the start, but if you miss that extra life you're going to fall into that low poly background because we are very high up in the skyscrapers. And yeah, so this is how you do the start. You take this mini shortcut, which I greatly enjoy because it just saves off this 1 or 2 seconds of the S rank. If you get it, you get some extra rings, and otherwise it doesn't really matter. So if you miss it, it's not the end of the world, but it's cool to get all of these tiny opportunities. Then we hit the quick time event, go up here, and I have gotten a lot more practice at hitting the B button in time to slide under things, and we are out of the first zone and we can go into this boost segment here, and then we do a slide around here, and I initiated way too late, even though I had an entire level that was just demanding that, but obviously I still have an eternalizer because you barely have to do it. And can I do it this time? Nope, too early. Okay, take it slow a little bit, much better, still get against the wall, but okay. And here I don't realize that there is actually like 5 quick step points instead of 3 like usual. So I hit the mine, and the mine catapults me right over the speed booster. So yep, I think this is actually the last step of the level. So I get all of this getting a little bit warmed up out of the early, and we are going to see how it goes now, uninterrupted, mostly just gameplay flow. Just sometimes I get a little bit lost in exploring the level because we have to keep in mind as we run up this side of the building, like in that one famous Sonic Adventure level where I keep forgetting the name of, the one that is also in Generations, you know, iconic. Sometimes, however, I slow down and explore because we have to keep in mind this is basically a completely blind experience for me. I played this level like once or maybe twice and didn't really replay it the very first time I played this game. So I am sometimes going to stop and sniff the roses a little bit as we run across this tube, very reminiscent of a similar part in Sonic 06, which kept killing me a lot, but fortunately, while Sonic accelerates way too fast in Unleashed, this is not nearly as slippery and bad as that level is. Anyway, back to the gameplay here. We have a hidden spring, which we could tell from the pop-up of the homing attack reticule. Here I'm mixing up my buttons and boost against the wall, that's fine. And we are back on track up here. Now as we are going to boost up here, think fast because there's light speed dash, think even faster as we get distracted by the blimp. Could have done a homing attack onto that enemy and gotten a secret within a secret path, basically, very cool. But doesn't matter, here we could have stomped down, too late for that, let's just keep going. We're going to see a bunch more of this level segment later on in a side quest. Don't go too fast up there with the wall jump, do go fast up there to get the medal, didn't go fast enough, it's fine, not gonna try and turn around. Let's just keep going down here and up here again. Very nice stuff. And here, breaking through the glass, this is also something that you do in Sonic Adventure, but especially in the Generation stage. And we now have this huge bridge in the background in the distance, and of course we're going to go onto it, and we are getting reminded of a very similar segment in Dragon Road, as we now have an extra shockwave to deal with. But fortunately this time I know that in order to beat this robot easily, you just have to hold towards the camera, something that again was not very obvious the very first time around. And in fact, this is not the only part of the level which I feel is kind of copied from other levels. This is not terrible, but here, for example, haven't we seen this before? This is Rooftop Run. We have basically this exact same segment in Rooftop Run, except now we have these fire pillars to deal with and these electric traps. So this is basically a bit of a remix, somewhat a hard mode-ish thing. And of course, this is not on some European bridges. This is an American bridge. It's not an aqueduct, that is what I meant, but otherwise it is very, very comparable. And here, this grind rail segment here, very close to what we did in Apotos. Oh yeah, lie, there is another death here because I was jumping instead of hitting the bumpers like a moron. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, you just do this. Yeah, and it's super easy and not a big deal. But we have seen this before. And again, it's not terrible. Like, this game is deserves to repeat a few segments, and this one, for example, quite original with all of these homing attacks. Obviously could have taken a little bit of a side path here, something they've seen in Shamar actually. And obviously the whole rail segment here is a lot more complex than anything before, but I think it's a little bit noticeable as we're going to this original segment, running on the side. Very cool, very nice, but side running, again, something we have seen before. And I do think it leads credence to the theory that maybe they were running out a little bit of time and effort and had to recycle a few things here. You thought I would die here, right? I also thought that, but then I realized you have to go up there. Oh yeah, by the way, this is again rooftop run. But you can catch yourself because Sonic is glued to the wall. The only thing that you can't do at all is jump. If you try to jump there, you're dead. Anything new on Wrist Rooftop? Nope. But while I'm looking for a medal, admire with me the floor texture. Like, the assets of this level, absolutely amazing. It looks fantastic. And I really like that it is a brightly lit city this time, and you can actually see a bunch of stuff. I got this medal on complete reflex because if you have a grind rail next to you, you use it. And I wanted to homing attack, but I was already in the ground. Minor issue. And oh, it's already over. It's too bad. We are having so much fun. But replaying this level, I can already tell it's going to be a blast, as I'm going to choose different grind rails and different shortcuts entirely, which are all relatively obvious to see very early on, and you just have to decide where do you want to go, explore all of the different paths, and for sure this is going to be a doozy to get all of the medals in an S rank. I'm really looking forward to it. This is one of my favorite stages for sure. Like, it's not as big of a standout absolute super blast, and people rarely call it their favorite in the game, but I think it is definitely up there among very enjoyable stages. Anyway, back to the NPCs with a guy who is not very enjoyable. I don't like this guy's dialogue at all. It is very weird. Especially because the premise here is that he teaches Sonic how to woo a girl, which is something that Sonic should never say no to. Like, why would he care at all? Like, he's negatively interested in this from everything that he has ever done with the one girl in his life. But whatever, let's not talk too much about the lore. As I've alluded to, we are going to see this segment here again, part of the level we just played. And it is heavily remixed. The challenge here is to kill the enemies, and of course for that we have a bunch of new enemies positioned very differently. We have these metal boxes here in our way, and we have a little bit awkward segments like so, and up here. The problem with this level is actually that it is badly designed at the end. The problem is not that I am once again a dumbass and just jump over the speed boosters, that's my own fault, but if you kill every enemy up until here, and then keep going here, get the medal, very obvious, up here, and then go down because you saw this guy here, then you're screwed. You can't win the level anymore because now 15, 16, 17 and the level ends. It's just over. You can't progress and you can't go back up. And I am not out of time at all. Like, this is not the challenge here. If you remember Dragon Road, there, very difficult level, I was running out of time. But no, that's not it. You can't finish this level. And I actually cut to the end of a second attempt, if you might have noticed that, where I got one more enemy very meticulously killed. And no, again, I just screwed myself over by not getting a mandatory secret route. It is a secret, I call it secret because it is a little bit of a challenge to get up there. It is not the bottom tier, whatever, standard route from the normal level. You have to do this or otherwise you just don't get your enemy count. And if I may remind you, you can't actually, I just skipped over this guy and the spring like a dumbass again. But yeah, reminder, you can't retry side quest stages. So whenever you fail to get the last enemy, you have to sit there for like 10 to 15 seconds like a dumbass until the timer runs out. I hate it. Anyway, you have to go up here because it gives you 2 extra enemies. There's one hidden in between the glass panes, and only this way I can get up to an even 20. This is the only way to beat this stage, and I think that's stupid. Like, there was a lot more leniency in previous levels like this, so why did they do it like this? I don't get it. Anyway, we made Louis happy, and we have cleared one of his side quests, and we get some more backstory about him. He is a photographer. A mysterious photographer who really deeply cares about love. And who do I see there in the distance after checking that these two don't have any new dialogue? It is Sandra, and I'm going to fail at her quiz because I don't know what Charles's bag is. Actually, get this one correct because I was just guessing. So lock that into my brain. But also, yeah, love, that's great. I almost get this, by the way, because yeah, this is quite obvious. But then, oh, the vendor stands, like, I guess you could maybe get one, but I think she's just talking about the decorations and not what is actually in the shop here. So yeah, that's my bad, I didn't pay enough attention. So this is a successful attempt. I cut out 2 where I just failed to guess the vendor stands again, because like hell I'm going to go around here. Maybe she just doesn't ask the question again. Like for every location she has a pool of like 8 of them, let's not forget that. But yeah, that's basically that. So anything else new with the NPCs now that we solved the Eggman problem? Yeah, we do have something new. We have another stage of a musical question here. And yeah, so we have another hint here. We do have to visit the professor to get the story going next time. Though not next time, because we also unlocked side acts, of course. But yeah, Shadi is here now, and Shadi is a musically interested person, and we have just gotten a reminder that there is a music producer here, which we are going to see in a second what this is all about after we got the very nice pumpkin, almost in time for Halloween. Again, unlocked after we got both of the main day and night acts done. We always get another 150 costing souvenir. And we have another dialogue from Louis. Oh, that's great. Fabulous. A little too manly. Yeah, so he wants us to sneak through the shadows, but actually we don't have to do that. I was really worried about that when I read the description, because, you know, sneaking, I don't really care about that in most video games, but especially not this. Yeah, but so let's see here. We are basically going backwards through a part of the level. We get spotted immediately. I was just going for it here, but no, it's fine. That doesn't matter. We don't have to like go behind these boxes and to not get seen. It's fine. It doesn't matter at all. And this part is very heavily remixed. As you can tell here, we basically didn't have this configuration of platforms at all during the original level. But here is something where I'm like, wait a second, the goal ring's over here. And I've seen a few speedruns. Can I do this? Yep, I can. This is the second attempt. I cut out one failed attempt, but I almost immediately tried this and I was like, flopped the input, let's try again. Tried again, did it. Great stuff. So we're not going to see the rest of the platforming here, at least not in this version of the side quest. Please don't talk to me like this. Yeah, so anyway, I am not going to show off the rest of the side quest level, at least not in this video. If you really want more Werehog content, let me know in the comments. I can always record this, you can replay these, it's fine. I sincerely doubt, however, that the interest is that strong. Anyway, Shadi wants to find somebody about the music industry, and we of course know Dev Big, who is suspiciously absent because he is currently in this level. We are in front of the hotel. I didn't get the camera to angle correctly to show off more of it. This is an interesting part because now we're going to see a lot more of a part of a level that I think we also saw beforehand. No, you can't do that, but fortunately there's safety rails here, because this I'm pretty sure was not in the main level. And we have talked about this in the thread a bit, but there are quite a few, especially of the latter Werehog levels, parts that were cut out right before the game's release that were then made into DLC levels, but also sometimes feature in side quests. And this is one of these parts. I'm pretty sure that part of the last one, which I skipped, was also here on this rooftop, or a very similar one, because we saw the feature of these electric coils in the background as well there, and they were not there in the original level. So we are here on new grounds, new platforms, everything completely different, and I don't mind, this is very interesting. here on the Chow Beans rooftop. It's almost sad if you don't get to like see a full level, but on the other hand, who really wants to see a longer Werehog level, am I right? Because it's like, yeah. For example, Arid Sands also had a huge part cut out, like I talked about this at the end there, I think. And again, this level was long enough already, so I think it's fine overall. And we're going to see how these parts look like then fully fledged in the DLC. I'm also quite excited for that. Alright, so up here, and we have a little bit of a more dangerous balance beam segment. And what did hit me just now? Like, am I crazy or did I not actually touch anything? Anyway, I had to redo the entire fight, so I'm sparing you this because it wasn't very interesting. It was a bit quicker this time, I guess, and here a little bit more careful, and we reached this final segment here, which is also quite interesting. I feel like they should have hidden a medal there, like going down there, and it's not actually easy to go down there. I feel like I should try it, but no, actually Sonic wants to grab onto the topmost one, so I'm just like, yeah, you know what, let's just talk to Dev B, and if I have to replay the level, then it's fine. But actually this level doesn't have any medals, it just says Chow Beans, so that's fine then. And it's like, another question is, why is Dev Big even here? This is like his favorite hangout spot. Is he really not afraid of heights, or did like Eggman's robots abduct him and put him up there? There is some serious lore missing, I feel like, and we really owe ourselves to explore this in minute detail, or otherwise it's just a gameplay conceit and doesn't matter. So yeah, Dev Big is definitely big time, so Shadi's quest is going to continue next time, and it is maybe also going to involve this lady here, who is also really interested in that audition process. But we are going to see more about this next time, because I'm quite satisfied with what we've done today, and I hope so are you, and if you are, let me know, and thank you very much for your attention.